Hello, everyone. Welcome to Teamwork Design, where we strive to design life from conversation to communication. I am your host, Terry Mera. Before I launched this podcast on October, I had countless thoughts running through my head. One specific conversation that I had with myself is, I think, worth discussing. Who am I to do a podcast? I pondered. I am not successful, famous, or accomplished in any substantial way. I couldn't help but compare myself to other podcasters who are more distinguished, successful, and recognized. I questioned who would spend their valuable time listening to my podcast. I began to feel delusional, doubting my abilities, and believing that I was nobody. This conversation with myself lingered for days, consuming my thoughts. Every aspect seemed valid, except for one, that I am nobody. I knew deep down that I am someone special. I have a special place in the hearts of my friends, my daughter, my parents, my brother, my nephews and nieces. I am somebody. Every single day, I remind myself of this fact as I record my podcast. Stepping into unfamiliar territory or venturing outside of our comfort zones often leads to negative thoughts. Doubt starts to creep in, and we begin measuring ourselves against an internal measuring stick that holds no relevance in the grand scheme of things, Even though there are many encouragements, why is it not enough? When will I be enough for myself? How can I satisfy, yet not lose my ambition and passion and all that stuff? These are questions that many of us, I think, wrestle with our journey to self-acceptance and self-worth, I think. We strive to be enough for ourselves, to satisfy our ambitions and passions, yet the doubt and questioning persist. It's like being stuck on a hamster wheel, constantly running but never reaching our desired destination. It is a constant struggle to find a balance between striving for whatever we like to achieve, whether greatness or not, and feeling content with who we are. So, how do we break free from this cycle? Sometimes it's about adapting a different perspective. So, I choose reverse psychology. Reverse psychology may seem like an unconventional approach, but it can work wonders, I told myself, I am nobody. So whatever I put there doesn't matter. Nobody will pay attention or care. Guess what? It worked. It took off the pressure to be someone special in the eyes of my loved ones. It may sound counterproductive, but it can be liberating. It's exactly what I need to free myself from the pressure of being someone special to my loved ones by telling myself that I am nobody. And for that moment, it removed the burden of, expectations and judgment. Allow me to focus on my, podcast and growth and development. It's a liberating perspective that grants me the freedom to explore without the fear of not measuring up. Some of you may disagree with this tactic, but allow me to clarify with my honesty. Why do we struggle to overcome obstacles and doubts and fears? It often comes down to the circumstances we attach to them, right? Do you know why some of us are afraid of heights? I mean, me for one. Oof, I'm so afraid of heights. Because we are fearful of falling. Why some of us are afraid of the dark? Because we are afraid of the unknown of what's in it. Some of us are afraid of love because we are afraid of broken hearts. If you have a sense of self worth, whether exaggerated or not, you have an ego. Often we create preconceived notions out of fear. The fear does not disappear quickly or easily, regardless of how sound the logic is, since we are emotional beings. So I use that preconceived notion as fuel. These preconceived notions hold us back. But what if we use them as fuel instead? Removing the sense of self worth might seem daunting. I mean, it did indeed for me. But what is left in its absence? Nothing. And that can be a powerful tool. Give it a try. Take on a project or whatever it is that you have been putting off because of your ego or your fear. I hope you find a wonderful surprise about yourself the other side of it. Thank you for tuning in. This is your host, Terry Mera.